Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's 1984. You've just seen The Last Starfighter for the first time. The special effects, they were groundbreaking. The music, stirring, and the story, a space opera for the joystick generation. But the face that really sticks with you, that's Alex Rogan. And the guy who played him, Lance Guest, he feels like someone you'll be seeing in movies forever. But then, you didn't. So what happened to Lance Guest after The Last Starfighter? And actually, what happened before it too? Because this is a story of a career that never quite exploded, but also never really faded. It's got horror movies, Broadway, shark attacks, and yes, even Johnny Cash. Before Lance was saving the galaxy, he was saving Laurie Strode. In 1981, Halloween 2 hit the theaters, and Lance played Jimmy, the paramedic who spends most of the night trying to keep Jamie Lee Curtis alive, while Michael Myers cuts through the hospital like it's a haunted maze. It was his first major role, and yeah, he wasn't the final guy, but he was charming, grounded, and sympathetic, everything a slasher sequel needed, and it showed Hollywood something. This guy could act. So when casting for a sci-fi underdog who could save the universe and still feel like a real person, Lance Guest was ready. Enter The Last Starfighter as it drops into theaters, and while it wasn't a blockbuster, by today's standards, it did something important. It stuck. Lance Guest played two roles, Alex Rogan and Beta, his socially clueless robot double. It was one of the first films to use large-scale CGI instead of traditional models, and somehow the digital space battles only enhanced Lance's performance. He wasn't cocky, he wasn't slick. He was just a kid trying to figure it all out, on Earth and also in space, and audiences loved him for it. Sci-fi nerds like me, well, we thought he was going to be the next Mark Hamill. But then, Hollywood did what Hollywood sometimes does. It just lost interest. In 1987, Lance Guest would take on a different kind of monster, a rubber shark. In Jaws: The Revenge, Lance played Michael Brody, the grown-up son of Chief Brody, who now has a family of his own, and a very persistent fish problem. Let's just say this movie is more famous for being mocked than praised. It had a shark that roared like a lion, a psychic mom, a plot line that felt like it came from a fever dream, but to Lance's credit, he gave one of the film's more believable performances. Unfortunately, not even he could save this one. And after that, the offers for leading man roles, well, they just kind of dried up. So what do you do when Hollywood cools off? Well, if you're Lance Guest, you pivot. Over the years, he's quietly carved out a career on television. Shows like Saint Elsewhere, Knots Landing, Lou Grant, Jag, and NYPD Blue. He even showed up in an episode of House in the 2000s. You might not have noticed at the time, but if you go back and watch some of those episodes today, you'll see him. Understated, believable, solid, not chasing the spotlight, but just showing up, doing the work, and doing it well. But then came a surprise, not in a movie, not even on TV, but on stage. In the early 2000s, Lance Guest stepped into the black boots of Johnny Cash in the hit musical Million Dollar Quartet. If you're not familiar, the show tells the story of the legendary 1956 jam session between Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash. Now, Lance didn't just act, he sang, played guitar, and fully embodied Cash's signature sound and stage presence, and he killed it. This wasn't stunt casting, this was a guy with legit music chops and presence. He toured with the show, performed it across the country, even on David Letterman's show, and became one of its signature leads for years, from Outer Space to Ring of Fire. Now that's quite a range. These days, Lance is still out there. You'll find him at sci-fi conventions, horror cons, and film festivals. Fans of The Last Starfighter are loyal, and Lance makes the rounds, signing autographs and sharing behind-the-scenes stories. Sure, Lance Guest didn't become the next Tom Cruise or Kurt Russell. And honestly, you know what? That's fine. He made a mark with one unforgettable film. He survived Michael Myers and a roaring shark. He toured the country as Johnny Cash, and he built a career not on flash, but on consistency, talent, and staying power. And if you're like me, and The Last Starfighter meant something to you, then you already know this. Lance Guest didn't need a dozen blockbusters. He just needed one chance, one game, one Starfighter. Thank you for watching this video. Drop your favorite Last Starfighter memory or Lance Guest role in the comments. I read them all. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel, where I mostly talk about the movies, TV shows, and music that I loved while growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and have a great day.